Hi there, Scorpio. Welcome to a weekly tarot reading from August 9th through the 15th. It's Sagittarius Yogini. And I just want to, before I pull some cards, I just want to mention an astrological transit that's happening during this time frame. And that is that Mercury, which is currently retrograding in Virgo, is going back into Leo. The significance of this for Scorpio people is that that is your 10th house of career. So it's a very important area. The 11th house is a house of gains, which means, like profits from business or career. It's a house of hopes and wishes, and it's a house of friendships and social networks. So all of these areas can experience some sort of either like rethinking or misinterpretation, misunderstanding, like for instance, if you have been rethinking a goal, like the 11th house can be like your hopes and wishes, which are long term goals. You could be rethinking this for some reason, because I always look at the 11th house goals as different from like career goals, because I would put that in the 10th house. And sometimes, like for instance, a goal could be where you ultimately want to live, like where's your dream location. Your career could impact this for sure. And you might be kind of like at odds with what it is that you want and what it is that you have, in terms of career. And it could be kind of um, quite the dilemma. And this is part of life. And Mercury is a very fast moving planet, so it's going to resolve itself fairly quickly. Mercury turns direct on the 28th. It goes back into your 11th house on September 9th, and then comes out of its shadow on the 12th. So, within a month's time, you should be moving forward with whatever it is that you have been wanting to manifest, if that's connected to your long range goals especially. So let's pick some cards here. Let me just shuffle a little bit, because even when I shuffle, sometimes I just had this happen where two signs had like almost identical cards. I'm not picking that many cards, but still, it's like freaky when that happens. I mean, what are the odds? Ooh, you got the Soulmate card, and you got some stuff that makes me think of relationship issues for sure. So the heart of the matter is the Queen of Swords, and this is a card, you can see the woman in deep thought. It's a card of maybe having to make a decision. The Queen represents the water element, which you are a member of that club. So is Cancer and Pisces. So it's emotional. It's water is emotional. It's about the emotions. Swords relate to the air signs. It's connected to the thought. And so those two elements are quite different, the mind versus the heart. And that's what this is all about. The head versus the heart. Which one will win out? And should one be excluded for the other? I think that's an important question too, because the head represents logic and the heart represents, the person's feelings. Feelings are very important, but logic is very important too. Sometimes we have irrational feelings. We want something that isn't good for us, or we want something that we can't have. But we just like falling in love with somebody who's unavailable. It's irrational, but I think it was Emily Dickinson who said the heart wants what it wants. And by the way, Emily Dickinson was a Sagittarius. She wasn't a Scorpio, so. um, okay, so that is happening. And I often think of the Queen of Swords as this person who has been through the mill and really is, trying to recover from something. And that could be connected to a decision. So we have here the challenge card is the 10 of Cups. So this in the upright position, and when I pull these cards, even if I pull them upright, I'm going to read them as the more challenging interpretation, whether it's the upright card or the reversed. Usually the reversed is more challenging. And this would be family disharmony. So there's some kind of decision that you have to make that is very personal to you. It's a card of marriage, okay? And it is a very difficult question for Scorpio people because your love is very enduring, and it can like endure a lot of pain. Which is kind of a paradox with Scorpio because you're also there's like kind of a fierce quality that I feel with Scorpio, but I feel like there's also a vulnerability in love. So that's where you soften, but that's also where you suffer because of that, because you feel things so deeply. So if you're having to decide whether or not to stay married or to stay coupled with someone, just remember that it doesn't mean that you ever stop loving someone. There might be other reasons why you have to do it. If you're with somebody who's a serial cheater, and it just tears you apart, you would be harming yourself if you stayed in that situation and endured that kind of continued, really a form of abuse if you think about it. And it would just be so difficult for a Scorpio person to tolerate that, and you shouldn't have to. So that's going on. And then what's coming in is the Page of Wands, receiving some great news. Pages can be messages. Wands are fire energy. I don't know if it would be from a fire sign. Again, we are in Mercury retrograde, so maybe you hear from a blast from the past. But it's this news that you receive is a happy message, and it may really kind of erase any kind of negativity that you have been experiencing, because you really feel that maybe it helps to deal with an unhappy situation that you're already currently a part of. And the outcome is the Six of Cups. This is the Soulmate card. Ooh. And yes, it is the card. This is a card connected to Cancer. So maybe this person is a Cancer, but it's really the card of the idyllic past, the past that you may idolize. And yes, when I say the word idolize, sometimes that implies that it is overblown, that the person is just kind of remembering the good times and not remembering that there were some really challenging situations that occurred. Another interpretation too is, if the Queen of Swords is deciding whether or not to quit your job, you may have found that your job is interfering with your family life. Maybe you have to travel for it, or you have to work long hours, and you get this I think the Page of Wands can even be an idea that you get that is brilliant. And I feel like it may be with the Six of Cups, it may be something that is you've always wanted to do since you were a child. And so it makes it all the more happy that you're in that state where you can experience that. So, um, this is about the innocence of childhood, and really, when we say idyllic, it's like the simplicity. And life can get so complicated when you're an adult that it can make it very hard to feel good about whatever it is that you're doing, because it kind of feels like a drag. It doesn't feel very positive. So that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, I'm at rainamoonastrology.com. Take care. Bye.